Good morning, guys, and welcome back to another Sunday meal prep video. I think I'm gonna have a really quick one for you guys today because one, I'm making white chicken chili, so that's just going to be a crock pot meal. Our other meal is going to be spaghetti. Basically, I'm just going to make my spaghetti sauce because I usually do zucchini for my noodles, and then I do those fresh throughout the week as we eat it. I am going to make some hummus today as well, just to kind of snack on, and I am changing up my lunches. Instead of taking sandwiches or salads this week, I'm going to do turkey burgers. So Charlie is going to grill those out for me. I'm going to get those ready. I'm going to kind of I'm trying to cut out like some of the fruit and maybe some of the carbs and stuff that I eat, even though I don't want to be like on any kind of low carb diet, but just to kind of detox. This is the Sunday after Thanksgiving and I'm feeling full and bloated and all of that stuff, and I just feel like, you know, trying to eat as, I don't want to say clean. I mean, you know, I eat pretty clean anyway, but I just want to try to eat as healthy as possible and fill myself up with protein and stuff like that. I also got me some bone broth for my lunch this week, so I'm just going to take that to have as a side with my turkey burgers, and then I'm also going to have the hummus for my snacks. I actually bought some vanilla and toasted coconut vanilla yogurt or whatever, and I'm going to have that with an apple in the afternoons. So I'll kind of have, like, you know, the carrots and hummus to snack on and the apple and the yogurt and stuff like that. So that's going to kind of be what I eat at work, and I always take a protein coffee for my snack in the mornings. I am still doing my normal bacon and eggs. As far as recording today, it's probably going to be a quick video if I had to guess. Charlie literally had no prep other than prepping the bell peppers, so we didn't even film that. He's already done his part of the prep other than cooking the turkey burgers because I need to get those ready. So anywho, if you are new here, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you here following along with my channel with my recipes and stuff like that. I just like to put out there different ideas and recipe ideas, and sometimes I try new things and sometimes I do repeat meals because that is life. But also follow me over on Instagram, and I have a really great Facebook group. There is a direct link to that Facebook group down in the description box, and also down there is my Amazon store. Lots of things that you see me use I might have linked in my Amazon store. If I don't, I can always send you the link. Most things I get on Amazon. Oh, also, if you want to try out Weight Watchers, you can use my link and you can get a free month, and then I would get a free month as well. I have no idea what kind of specials they have going on now. They just changed their plan back over to where all of the points are going to be the same again. It's pretty much like the old freestyle plan, in my opinion, or the blue plan, which is pretty much what I've been doing all along. Even whenever it changed to my personal points or whatever they called it, I really didn't change anything that I was eating per se. So I am happy though that everybody's points will be the same. You don't have to give green, blue, or purple points or my personal points, yada yada yada. I am still sharing the recipes that I build in my recipe builder, just in case you want to import it into yours. If you are actually on Weight Watchers, that makes it simple. But I do try to put the points on there as well, like I used to back in the old days when all the points were the same. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so I am going to get my white chicken chili going. This recipe that I found, I really don't even know. I took a picture of it the other day. I don't think it will even focus on that. It gave no instructions whatsoever, but I was looking for one that just uses the green salsa because I think that will give it a good flavor. So, of course, I am going to make just a couple of little modifications. I am going to add, okay, so let's just go through the ingredients. So, first of all, you need 2 pounds of chicken breast. I have 3 chicken breasts here. I don't really know if that's 2 pounds. I don't care. Chicken is 0 points for me. So, I'm going to salt and pepper those up really well. It doesn't say to do that, but I always do it just because I think it's better seasoned well. We need 2 teaspoons of cumin. I need a teaspoon of garlic powder. Whoops, I got a garlic salt out instead. I need to switch that. I need a teaspoon of onion powder. It does not call for chili powder, but I think I am going to put 2 teaspoons of chili powder in there as well because it's chili, number one. I feel like it needs that flavor, and then salt and pepper. And then it also calls for a can of pinto beans, a can of white beans, and a can of corn. I'm going to use 2 cans of the Great Northern beans just to have a few extra beans in there. And we need 4 cups of chicken broth. So I have this container. I think that is 4 cups right there. And then this is the green salsa that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to throw it all into the crock pot. I'm going to cook it on high, not on low, because it's already like 1 o'clock in the afternoon here almost. And we probably need to have this ready. This will probably be our dinner tonight. So it will be finishing up probably about 5 or 6 o'clock, and it'll be time for us to eat. But let's throw everything in and get this going. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get the chili going. I have my 3 chicken breasts in here. I have just put salt and pepper on the one side, and I'm going to turn them over and salt and pepper the other side as well. Never be afraid to use your seasoning. Again, this recipe had no measurements for salt and pepper. It just says salt and pepper. It had no directions or anything, so we're just winging it today. Okay, so we got our salt and pepper in there, so we're going to go ahead and just start adding in the rest of the seasonings. Okay, so I did swap out my garlic salt, so I have garlic powder now, and it calls for 1 teaspoon of that. So we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and it also calls for a teaspoon of onion powder. And yes, we typically don't eat onions, but we do use onion powder, although this is kind of getting old. Might have to get a new one. We don't use it a whole lot, but it does give a good flavor sometimes. And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of the ground cumin and 2 teaspoons of the chili powder. Y'all know those are my favorites, so you can never have too much of that. And again, this recipe doesn't call for chili powder, but I feel like it needs it, and we're just going to go with it. And we're going to go in with our jar of the green salsa. Hopefully I can open this. I can't. I'm going to have to get Charlie to open it. Hold. I knew as soon as you walked off, I wouldn't be able to open that. Okay, Charlie saved the day. He got the salsa open. We're just going to pour it right on top of the chicken. And then we're going to put the beans in. I'm actually not going to drain the beans. I am going to drain the corn though. So let me get my cans open and we'll get the beans in there. Okay, so we are going to go in with 2 cans of Great Northern beans. You can use any kind of white bean. I'm hoping these are 0 points. I have not built this recipe yet in my app. We will see. If it is, then this will be a 0 point chili. So there's the white beans, and then we're going to go in with 1 can of pinto beans. And then I just did like a quick drain on the corn instead of getting out the colander to drain it. And then we're going to go in with the chicken broth. I'm going to put this whole carton in. And I am just going to sprinkle a little additional salt and pepper in here. And then if we need to add anything to it once it's done, we will. Sometimes Charlie likes to add hot sauce. But this is going to have to cook for quite a while before we can test out that theory. I will take out the chicken breast and shred them, and at that point we'll give it a taste test and see what else it might need. So I think everything is good. We're going to put it on high like I said and just let her cook for the rest of the afternoon. Easy peasy. I love a good crock pot meal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mix up the turkey burgers so that Charlie can get them on the grill. I'm going to use 2 packs of the 99% lean ground turkey. Typically, if I just do 1 pack, I will do 2 tablespoons of some kind of Mrs. Dash seasoning or something. So since I'm going to do 2 packs, we're going to do 4 tablespoons of seasoning. And I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of the tomato basil garlic and 2 tablespoons of the extra spicy. So you can do whatever you want to. I don't add any salt and pepper. This is probably one of the only things that I don't think necessarily needs it because those seasonings season it very well. So I'm going to put it all in the bowl. We're going to mix it up and divide it into 8 patties. Okay, so we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons of each one of these. This is the tomato basil. And these seasonings are getting a little bit old. I actually have to break it up a little. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of the extra spicy. And then I'm just going to stir it with a spoon. The turkey's pretty soft until I get it mixed really well. And then we will divide it into the 8 patties. Okay, so to make the patties, I'm just going to use this little hamburger thing. And I'm basically just going to measure. This is going to be 0 points, but I'm just going to try to measure out 4 ounces because I should have 32 ounces and then that should make 8 patties. That way they can be pretty much about the same size. I am going to spray the top and the bottom of this because the turkey is pretty sticky. If you don't spray it, then it's going to stick to it. And so I'm just going to scoop it until I get 4 ounces on here. All right, that's 4.05. That will work. And then I'm just going to mash it kind of flat like that and pop it on a paper plate. And I'm just going to do that 7 more times until I have 8 patties. Okay, here are the 8 patties all measured out. I'm going to hand them over to Charlie, and then we will show them to you once he is done with them. He's going to cook them nice and well done for me so that they almost look burnt, because that's the way I like it. Alrighty, here are the turkey burgers. Charlie just got them off of the grill, so they are looking good. I'm actually going to have 2 each day with a slice of provolone cheese on each one, and then bone broth, I said, for my side. One reason I've kind of been feeling under the weather this week, and I always feel better like sipping on some warm bone broth and stuff like that. So excited to try my lunch this week, and again, I will probably dip them in mustard, and I'm going to get ready now, and we're going to make the hummus from chickpeas, and this is a 0-point hummus, I think. It's basically just chickpeas and Greek yogurt and stuff like that. So let me get that stuff together. I did get my breakfast done, so here are my eggs. I'm just letting them cool before I put the lids on them. And then here is my bacon. It is just cooling as well. I cooked it in the microwave, nice and crispy. So I'm going to put all this away. We're going to get everything together for the hummus, and then we'll be ready to do our spaghetti sauce. All right, I am ready to start on the taco spiced hummus, which is the one that I'm going to make. I've made this before. It's been a long, long time since I've made it. It is something that is good, and I love that it is 0 points, because regular hummus is a lot more than 0 points because of the olive oil and stuff like that in there. Oh, I need to get my non-fat Greek yogurt out, but I've got everything else here. So basically it's a bunch of spices and some chickpeas, garbanzo beans. So you'll need a can of chickpeas drained and rinsed. And then we're going to need some ground cumin, some chili powder, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some oregano, and some paprika. And then also 2/3 of a cup of the non-fat Greek yogurt. So I'm going to get my Greek yogurt out, get that measured out, drain and rinse the garbanzo beans. We're going to do this in the food processor. It doesn't take but just a few minutes to whip this up. I'm going to go ahead and measure out all of my seasonings and put them like all in one container so that I can just dump it in at one time. But basically it's like a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of all of these. And I will have this link down below. This is from emilybites.com. So this is one of her recipes. Made it before. Super yummy. A little spicy. Y'all know how we like our spice. Yeah, this will come in handy for a nice little snack in the afternoons for me. Alrighty guys, I am ready to make the hummus. I went ahead and put the chickpeas in there. They are drained and rinsed. And then 2/3 of a cup of the Chobani non-fat Greek yogurt. And then in here I have 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried oregano. We're going to put all of this in here as well. And then I'm actually going to have to move the food processor over here to turn it on, but I just didn't have enough space with the crock pot up there to set all of this out. So let me blend it up, and then I will show it to you once it is done. I'm just basically going to let it run for a few minutes until it is nice and smooth. That's what I'm looking for, is a really smooth consistency. Okay, so here is the hummus. I think that it has turned out well. Alrighty, so there is the taco spiced hummus. Again, this is from emilybites.com. This is 0 points, and I will have the recipe linked down below and the link to my WW app recipe as well. But I mean, really, you don't even have to track it since it is 0 points, but I do still like to build it in my recipe builder. So I'm going to put this up, and we are going to get started on our spaghetti sauce. I will go ahead and make spaghetti for Charlie. I will do my zoodles fresh on the nights that we have the spaghetti. And then we are going to make the 2 ingredient garlic rolls as well. Alrighty guys, I am ready to make the 2 ingredient, which is really 4 ingredient garlic rolls, because I use this. But this is basically using self-rising flour, non-fat Greek yogurt, and then the garlic to give it the garlicky flavor. I know y'all have seen me make this several times, so I'm just going to go over it real quick for anyone that is new here. What I'm going to do is put my flour in. I am going to use 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, and go ahead and mix that in well with the flour. And then we're basically going to mix the yogurt in, and it will form into like a big dough ball, and then we're going to roll it out into 18 little rolls. So in here I just have the flour and the garlic powder. I do like to mix the dry ingredients first just to make sure that they are blended well. If you forget this part, you can always mix it all together at the same time. Then we are going in with, and that was 1.5 cups of self-rising flour, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, and then I just do a 1 cup to the 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. Otherwise, it's too sticky if I do 1.5 cups of yogurt to 1.5 cups of flour. So I find that it is less sticky, and then I use butter spray as I'm rolling it out to keep it off of my hands. So I'm just going to mix this with the spoon until it's nice and crumbly, and then you are going to have to get your hands messy. So I did take my rings off because I am going to go in with my hands and basically knead it into a nice little dough ball. We will weigh it, divide that by 18. That will give us how many grams per roll that we need so that we can portion it out pretty equally. Okay, so this is probably as good as I'm going to be able to get it mixed with the spoon. Now we're going to have to get a little bit dirty, and I just mix it and kind of pick up all of the flour that's kind of loose down in there. Okay, so there, I've got it mixed up into a nice dough ball. I'm going to wash my hands real quick, then we will weigh this and see how much each one's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to need my phone and the calculator, and let's see here how much this weighs. So basically, I'm just going to pick the dough up, tear it out to 0, and it weighs 567 grams. And I want 18 rolls, so I'm going to divide 567 by 18. So each roll is going to be 31.5, so I'll just aim for that 31 to 32 grams each, which is pretty much typical of all of my rolls. And then what I like to do is use the butter spray. I spray it directly on my hands, which helps keep the dough from sticking to my hands. So it's a little bit gross, but it works. I'm going to also spray my pan over here, and then I'm going to spray my hands, and we are going to start rolling these out. And I just tear it out to 0 and take it off until it is negative. So that one is exactly negative 32. And so we're just going to do this until we have 18 rolls. Okay, so I have my 18 rolls here. First thing I always like to do is spray the rolls with the butter spray. And then I just like to top with some garlic salt. And these are so good. They're 1 point per roll. And then each night, Charlie and I get 3 rolls. You could always make them into 12, however many you wanted to. But for some reason, I like to make the small ones. And we get 3. Feels like you're getting more. And that is it. We're going in the oven, 350 degrees for 12 minutes. Then I am going to put it up on the top rack and broil it until they are nice and brown on the top. Alrighty guys, here are the garlic rolls fresh out of the oven. Looking, smelling delicious. Look who popped up here. She must smell them. She's been asleep on the couch literally all day. The cats have been sleeping all day, actually, all 3 of them. So anyway, rolls are done, and we're going to wrap up the spaghetti and the chili now. Alrighty, we are ready to get started on our spaghetti sauce. We actually have Charlie's spaghetti going, as you can hear. He is going to use ground beef for his. I'm going to use lean ground turkey for mine. We're going to split this jar of this Rayo's marinara. I like to pick these up in a double pack at Costco. This is actually my last one, so I need to get some the next time we go. And then we'll each get a can of the Heinz diced tomatoes. And then I just pulled out some extra Italian seasoning, oregano, and some garlic powder if we want to add that. Of course, we'll use salt and pepper too. We're going to kind of tag team and work together. And each of us are going to do our own sauce. But we do like to season a little bit differently. Charlie's over here dancing. He's trying to rush me. It's making me distracted. You ready? All right, go ahead and get my pan out. He's got his. He always chooses that green chef pan. It cooks really quick, but my turkey actually cooks quicker because he has to drain the grease and stuff off of his hamburger meat. But let me set y'all up here. We will get started, and yeah, hopefully this will come together quick. The only thing I have left to do after this is to shred the chicken and finish up our chili. I love to use the little meat chopper. If y'all don't have one, y'all should get one. I think this one is a Pampered Chef. They have them on Amazon. I think you can find them anywhere now. Okay, so we both are basically just browning our meat at the moment. Charlie's spaghetti finally finished so that I could record again. That thing gets really loud. It is a true pasta pot. It cooks really well though. We love it. Okay, so what I did was I divided the Rayo's Marinara in half. It's a 28-ounce jar, so I have 14 ounces in here, and then I went ahead and put my can of Hunt's diced tomatoes in here, so it is ready to go as soon as my turkey is done. And then I will just add some oregano, Italian seasoning and stuff. You can season it however you want to. The Rayo's obviously has some seasoning in it. If I was just using like crushed tomatoes, then I would have to add a lot more than what I am. But the Rayo's, it tastes pretty good. Okay, so I think that my turkey is done enough. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my sauce. And we're going to scrape it out, make sure we get it all. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and add in some extra oregano. Don't be shy with it. And then some Italian seasoning. I did already add some garlic just straight to the meat whenever I added my salt and pepper. I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit and then see if it needs anything else. But that is pretty much it. I will show this to you once I get it all plated up. Charlie's is almost done as well, so easy peasy. His spaghetti's done. And like I've said probably 15 times, the zoodles, the zucchini, Charlie actually will zoodle it up for me fresh on the nights that we have the spaghetti. And then I just like to cook it in the microwave, and then I just kind of wrap it in paper towels and soak the excess water out of it and put it in a bowl. I do kind of cut it up with some scissors that I have that I just used for cooking, and then I will put my marinara on it. I just go ahead and divide this into 3 servings so it will be ready to go. And then of course we have the 3 garlic rolls with it. Super delicious filling meal. And the zucchini saves me on points and stuff. Instead of using pasta, I could use the Fiber Gourmet pasta, but I like to have the rolls, and I just don't want to do too much carbs or points. So there's that. It's going to simmer, and I'll be back in a moment and show you the plated up sauce. Alrighty, here is my spaghetti sauce plated up into the 3 containers, and then here are the garlic rolls. Charlie's sauce is still kind of simmering on the stove for a little bit, but we will plate his up as well. And yeah, all we have left to do is to finish up the chili. I need to shred the chicken. I'm not sure. It's only been on for like 4 hours, so it might be a little while, and then I'll be back and finish that up. Alrighty, here is the white chicken chili all plated up. I have not tasted it. Charlie did a taste test. How was it?
It's good.
He said it was good. So this is going to be our dinner tonight. I did not make the corn muffins to go along with it, so we will just have saltine crackers with it. Charlie might eat chips or whatever with it. I don't know. This is something good too. If you want to, you can put some sour cream on, or some of the non-fat Greek yogurt, which tastes exactly like sour cream and won't add any points. You could sprinkle it with parsley or cilantro or something like that. So there's some different little toppings that you could add to it if you want to. But glad we got everything done today. Glad I chose a slow cooker meal because it does all the work for you. But this is looking and smelling delicious. We will have this for dinner tonight. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching today's meal prep video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to click that subscribe button and give me a like. It really helps support my channel. Thank you to all of my Jennifer's Gems that make it all the way to the end of all of my videos. I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Love y'all. Mwah.